In this lecture, we are going to optimize the header and footer. It doesn't look like it, but there are some issues with our template parts. One of the best ways to optimize a block is by checking the HTML generated by the block. I'm on the home page of our site. Let's check out the document with the developer tools. Under the Elements panel, search for the header tag. You should be able to easily find this tag. There's an HTML comment above it that says header. Our HTML is surrounded by a div tag with a class called WP block template part. WordPress's default blocks will generate additional markup. Not the biggest crisis in the world, but not something we should overlook. A bloated document can cause the page to load slower. In addition, pages can be harder to debug. Whenever possible, we should keep our documents minimal. Luckily, the template part block is flexible. We can optimize the generated HTML with the block settings. During this section, we're going to ask ourselves a single question. Can the block generate the same HTML as our static template? If it can, we will let the block generate the HTML. Otherwise, we'll use an HTML block. Keep in mind, WordPress's HTML may not always match our static template's HTML. However, as long as we can achieve a similar look, we can consider it a success. In some cases, the result may be too unacceptable. In these cases, we will need to resort to custom block development, a topic we will get into in a future section. Currently, I'm viewing the full site editor. Let's select the header template part from the view list. On the sidebar, we can change the element that gets wrapped around the template parts blocks by viewing the Advanced panel. By default, WordPress will use the div tag for surrounding your template parts blocks. We have the option of changing this setting to a different element. Let's change the tag to header. Since WordPress is generating this block, we can remove the header tag from the HTML block. Before we do, there's one more change we should make. Back in your text editor, open the header.html file. On the header tag, we have a class called shadow. This class should be applied to the element generated by the block. Otherwise, it'll be lost. Let's copy the class from the element. Next, back in the browser, we can update our template part. Under the Advanced section, there will be a field called Class. Let's paste the class into this field. WordPress will merge its classes with our classes. Our block is ready. The last step is to save it in the template file. Copy the header template part. Next, let's update the index.html file. We're going to replace the first block with the new copy. Switch over to the header.html file. We can safely remove the surrounding header tags from the block. We will be left with 3 div tags. There are sections for the top bar, midsection, and primary menu. Let's try testing our theme by refreshing the home page on the front end. Nothing seems to be broken. Using the developer tools, let's check out the header tag. This time, things are different. The element surrounding our template part has changed from a div tag to a header tag. The classes have been merged. The header tag has the shadow and WP block template part classes. This is precisely what we wanted. By letting the block generate the HTML, we've reduced the bloat and clutter that we previously had. It's time to start working on the footer. The same problem occurs for this section of our template. As an exercise, try tackling this problem on your own. The element wrapping the footer section can be generated with the template part block. Pause the video. Good luck. Welcome back. If you are able to update the template, that's great. If not, that's fine as well. Let's go through the solution together. In your text editor, let's open the footer.html file. The root element is a footer tag with the classes bggray700p16. Rather than creating this element in this block, we can let the template part block create it for us. Copy the class to your clipboard. Next, switch over to the full site editor. Let's select the footer template area from the list view. On the sidebar, we're going to update the tag to footer. Lastly, paste the class into the class field. The last step is to update our templates. From the list view, copy the template part to your clipboard. Switch over to the index.html file. The block at the bottom can be replaced with a new copy of the block. Lastly, switch over to the footer.html file. We can safely remove the footer tag. Time to give our app a test by reloading the front page. If we scroll to the bottom of the page, the template is completely functional. The footer renders the same as before. Let's verify the template is correct by viewing the element with the developer tools. Same as before, the footer element has the WP block template part class. That's great! We've successfully finished optimizing our templates. In the next lecture, let's continue working on the template for the home page.